Hi Flosstube, I'm Tamara. I am PD Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And I want to welcome you to my Flosstube channel. This is Flosstube number 30. This is my channel about CrossStitch with a little bit of life thrown in every now and then. And if you are new here, welcome. I hope that you see something you like, you want to stick around. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you for your comments, for your likes, for your support, for your subscriptions, for just coming alongside in this wonderful stitchy community. I appreciate everybody who is in this community. It's very supportive, and I don't have a lot of local stitchy friends, so this is where I found my stitchy group. For those of you who don't know, I had a question last week, so I thought maybe I should kind of reintroduce who I am. My name is PD Stitcher because I live in the PD region of South Carolina. The PD is a river. There's a PD River and a little PD River. Both of them are right near where I live, about an hour and a half inland from Myrtle Beach, which most people are familiar with Myrtle Beach. So that's where I live, and so that's why I'm PD Stitcher, because I live in the PD region of South Carolina. We are having extremely gorgeous weather right now. It's about 75 degrees outside, nice and sunny, and it's about 3 in the afternoon. I'm home by myself. Well, I thought I was home by myself. My son just drove right past this window, so the dog may go crazy when he comes in a little bit. Thought I was going to be home by myself for a while. My husband's at work. My son was with a study group for his college class. My 2 older girls are at work, and my 2 younger girls are at track practice and soccer practice. So I thought, I have a few minutes. Apparently I didn't, but that's okay. I'm going to keep videoing. If the dog barks too much, I'll pause it and start back up after he calms down. But welcome. I've babbled on for a couple minutes now. That's okay. So what have I got to show today? I missed last week. I didn't film last weekend. My youngest daughter is playing on a travel soccer team, and they had a game on Sunday that was about 2 hours and 5 minutes away, one way. So, and my husband had a game, because he coaches a travel team, a different travel team. He had a game that was an hour and a half in the other direction. Needless to say, I had to drive her to her game while he went to his. So that severely impacted my free time on Sunday, and I didn't get a chance to film. So I haven't really been able to update my March Mayhem anything, my progress, my next plans. So today there's a lot to show, but just on 8 things, because I narrowed down to 8 projects for March Mayhem. If you are not familiar with March Mayhem, it is a group on Facebook where they just challenged us to kind of push ourselves in March and do our own thing. I chose to set mine up in a bracket type system, like March Madness basketball for college. So this is my bracket. So I'm just going to go through. I've done 1 through 8 were voted on. I had 16 chosen before March, and I had my Instagram followers vote and pick my 8 from those 16 that I worked on the 1st through the 8th. And then once we went through those 8, the brackets started to the next level, and I'll talk about that as I go. So March 1st was Cardinal in the Snow, which is this lovely pattern from X² CrossStitch on Etsy. I don't think she has this in her Etsy store, but if you like it, I know I've had a couple of questions about this pattern here and on Facebook. If you like this pattern, it wouldn't hurt to reach out to her, because she does have a store. Reach out to her and ask about it. Maybe she'll be able to put it back on there or sell it to you outside of Etsy. I don't know. I don't do Etsy other than buying, so I don't know how it would work for her to sell it outside of Etsy. It may be possible. I have no idea. But like I said, this is an absolutely gorgeous pattern, and I've had a lot of people ask me about it. So this was my March 1st project, and I got a good bit of progress made on it on March 1st. I think I got about 500 stitches. So I did these blocks right here. What I do is, as I park and I finish one whole diagonal, then I work back up the diagonal with the park threads, then I work back down the diagonal to fill in, if that makes any sense. It makes sense to me as I'm doing it, I just don't know if I can explain it very well. But so I've worked back up through these 3 in this diagonal, and then I'll work these park threads here, and then I'll work back down to fill in these little holes, and then I'll work back up the next diagonal. So that was my March 1st, and I thought I got a good bit of progress on that. March 2nd was Words to Live By from Tiny Modernist. Oh, and this is on 28 count easy grid. And I'm doing it 1 strand over 1 fiber thread. I'm going to try and remember to say these. The next is Words to Live By from Tiny Modernist, and it will eventually, and it's in my lovely Amazon bag, but that's okay, because it has to be in something. It will eventually look like this. I started this on New Year's Day. This was my New Year, New Start, so I finished this block, and I had done just the border in this before March started. And Cardinal in the Snow and this one after March 2nd were up for the next bracket for March 9th and 10th. And I say that because I've already done March 9th and 10th stitching, because today is the 11th. So you're going to see a good bit of progress, because this one won, Words to Live By won. So I actually worked on it the 2nd, and then I worked on it again on the 9th and the 10th. And there's a lot of fabric for this because it's huge when you put them all together. So this is where it is. I've now finished the first 3 blocks, and I've done the border for block 4 across the top and started the moon. I love this, absolutely love this. I love the colors and how they pop. This is on 32 count chalkboard black. Don't know who the dyer is or the brand is. Sorry, my brain. Words are hard. But this one got put away yesterday, and so it will now be up for the 3rd round against what I'm working on today, which I'll talk about that in a minute. So, sorry, I should have waited to zip that up. I apologize. So then March 3rd. March 3rd was Gingerbread Hollow, and it is housed in my Garon tote bags pouch that I bought from Joyfield Stitcher, Annie, when she was doing a D-stash. I grabbed this. I was very excited to grab this because I love Garon tote bags, but I never am fast enough when they have a sale and they have them up for sale. I'm not fast enough. Or when they have it, like they're having one this weekend, and I won't be able to get online to buy. And I'll talk about that more at the end when I talk about life. So this was March 3rd. It's also today and tomorrow's because it went up against the next one I'll show you. And this one won for today and tomorrow. So I've got, the light is coming through that right nicely. I've done most of the white. My goal is to get all the white done. I did get a little tired before. This was done before I started in March, the brown. But I did a lot of this white right in here and up in here and in the window on the 2nd, and then, not the 2nd, the 3rd. And so today and tomorrow my goal is to finish. All that's left of the white is in through here. So I'm going to hope to finish all of this today and tomorrow, be done with the white as far as the regular stitches, and move on to the colors, hopefully. So that one was the one that won for today and tomorrow, and it was up against my, sorry, I've got stuff everywhere. You'd think I'd get organized. It was up against my March 4th project. This was a new start. Oh, I didn't even show you what Gingerbread Hollow was supposed to look like. That would have been helpful, wouldn't it? This is from the Victoria Sampler, and it's going to eventually look like this. And this is on 32 count something. It's a pretty opalescent blue, I know that. And I will have it in the description box below because I stink at remembering what the fabric is off the top of my head. And I didn't write it down. I'm sorry. But it will be in the description box below. I try to do the whole description box while the video is uploading, so it'll be there when it becomes public. So that was March 3rd. This is March 4th, was a new start. It was Cottage Garden Samplings Winter Wisdom. It will look like this. And this is on 32 count Color and Cotton, because I have this thing, the tag in here. Color and Cotton Harbor Gray. This was the October 2020 fabric of the month. I had to get the all colors, so this is what that one was. And this is where I got on this, on the 4th. I got just the outline of the branch and a little bit of the pine needles. So not a big start, but a start nonetheless. So this I thought was going to be small, but this branch is huge. When I started stitching it, I was thinking that this was going to be a much smaller piece than what it seems to be looking like on 32 count fabric, but that's okay. But it did not win it for the second round. So this one will be put away now until probably April. I'll pull it back out again because I like it and I want to work on it again soon. But it lost to Gingerbread Hollow. So Gingerbread Hollow was today and tomorrow. And now we're on the ones that I haven't gotten to the next. We've only done one set. So on the 5th was Pandemic. I don't think I have, no I don't. And it's housed, the floss is in here, which is a So Much to Love bag. But I kept it because I wasn't sure if I'd be working on it again, if it would win. So I kept it on the Q-snap and put it in this lovely pillowcase. And if you have been with me before, you know that I had already stitched this whole motif, like the whole motif, including all of this that looks just like this. I had stitched this whole thing. And then I stitched this one and realized that this whole thing was one stitch off. So I had to frog all of this, and this is pretty much what I worked on the 5th, and I got most of that motif put back. I still have to fill in and then do this little doodad on this side. But I'm loving the colors. I picked my colors off of, it's a website where you can look at pictures and like actual pictures and it tells you what the DMC numbers would be for those type colors. So I chose, it was a beautiful picture of like a mountain lake scene at night with the green blues and the blues, and I just loved the picture, so I chose the colors that went with that. So I will, if I can remember what the name of the website is, I will link it below. But right now my brain is just shot. My brain works really well until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'm done for the day mentally. It's 3 something, so I'm not done for the day physically, but my brain has shut off. So that was March 5th, and it went up against the March 6th project, which was Positivity Rules from Caterpillar CrossStitch, and I do not have a cover photo of this because I didn't print out the last. This was a stitch along, a mystery stitch along, and I didn't print out the last one that had what the ultimate thing looked like. But this is where I got to. And this, like I said, all of these were whips except for Winter Wisdom so far. So I had already started a good bit of it. But this one went up against Pandemic for my piece that I was going to work on in the second round. And Pandemic won. So even though this one is close to a finish, and it should hit a finish by the end of 2021. Not sure when in 2021, but it will. It did not win, so it's going back in the bag, and I will see it again at the earliest April, maybe longer. We'll see. Definitely in May, because it has a birthday in May. I started it last May, not for Mania. I started it after I did all my Mania stuff, but it was in May, so go figure. So it'll get some more work on its birthday in May, at least, if I don't pull it back out in April. So Pandemic is moving on from those two. Then the last two, day 7 and 8. Day 7 was Advent Animals, and so I worked on Cashmere This is not a kangaroo. This is a camel. Cashmere Camel from Advent Animals. And if you were listening earlier, I said that on Sunday, which was the 7th, my daughter had a soccer game 2 hours away. So I thought, okay, because she has an hour warm-up, I'll take this. This is an easy, I put it in the hoop so I could just quickly work on it. And it's not, these aren't tough stitches. So I was like, I can work on this while she's doing her warm-up. Well, it was quite breezy on Sunday. Quite breezy, like blowing. The wind was blowing so hard that it affected the soccer game. The entire game was played in one half of the field because the wind was blowing down the field this way. So there was a goal here and a goal here, and the wind was blowing this way. So in the first half, all of the play was down here because the keeper here could kick the ball and it was just going to go, and the keeper here, it wouldn't go anywhere. So if they kicked the ball that way, it just came right back. The wind was blowing that hard, literally. And in the second half, the play was all down here. Same thing. So the wind was quite strong, which made stitching, sitting in a little sports chair, a little difficult. So I didn't get very much done on my camel. So this one, Advent Animals went up against my March 8th, which was a restart. I had done Shades of Autumn, and this is from the October 2017 Just CrossStitch magazine. And there's my son. The dog didn't bark. Great. So this was from the October 2017 Just CrossStitch magazine, and I had started this on white Ada last year, and I had to frog it, and I ended up cutting a hole accidentally in the fabric, which was fine because I really didn't like the Ada. It was crunchy, and I have nothing against Ada stitchers. If you stitch on Ada, great. I like the look of it. I've seen a lot of people who stitch on Ada and their projects look beautiful. I don't like crunchy fabric, and Ada always feels crunchy to me. So I started it over, and I started it on linen. So I started it on this 32 count Monster Mash from Color and Cotton. And now when I started it the first time on Ada, it was on white Ada. And I started it this time, like I said, it's on this Monster Mash, and I love how these colors look on this fabric. They are gorgeous, and I am very excited about this one. So this went up for a vote against Advent Animals for round 2. And Advent Animals won. So this one will get put away until I don't know. Probably April, because I really like this pattern. I love this project. I love these colors. I love this fabric. This fabric was it was just pleasure to stitch on, especially compared to that Ada. I did not like that Ada. But it was the white, crunchy Ada that comes in a tube from Hobby Lobby, just because I had it in my stash for forever, and I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and just use it. Yeah, no, it was not good. So when they went up for a vote, Pandemic and Positivity Rules, the vote for that one should have been for March 5th, 13th and 14th. And so Pandemic, I should be working on March 13th and 14th. And Advent Animals, I should be working on March 15th and 16th. However, I switched those two dates because tomorrow, like I said earlier, I live in South Carolina. Tomorrow, my youngest child and I are leaving to go to her soccer tournament this weekend in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I really didn't want to take Pandemic. It's beautiful. It's on 40 count. I forgot to mention that earlier. It's on 40 count angel hair from Seraphim, and I love it, but it's huge. And it's light colored, and I don't want to take it out to the soccer fields and work on it, but I also don't want to just be sitting at the soccer fields doing nothing. Advent Animals, as long as it's not as windy as it was this past Sunday, I should be able to take out to the fields on Saturday and Sunday. In between her games, she's got a game at 8 Saturday morning and a game at 5 Saturday afternoon, with a huge gap in between, which we'll probably go back to the hotel and I'll stitch. And then she has a game on Sunday morning at 7:30, which is really early, and it's time change weekend. So yeah, I don't know what drug the people in charge of the tournament were on when they made the schedule, but wow, it's going to be a long weekend, and it's going to be a really early morning Sunday. And if they win and they go to the finals, it'll be at noon on Sunday. So I'll have some time in between if they go to the finals. And I'll definitely have time while they're warming up and stuff at the field. So Advent Animals 1, I moved that one to the 13th and 14th. And this will be the 15th and 16th. Now, I say all that, let's go to plans. Because that's kind of plans, kind of what I've been doing. Then round after that. So I told you that Words to Live By, I've stitched on yesterday and the day before. And today and tomorrow I'm stitching on Gingerbread Hollow. Those two will go up for a vote probably Saturday. I'll put it on my Instagram stories so you can vote. So go follow. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's PD Stitcher. Follow me so that you can vote on Saturday. Yes, that's what because I'll work on it today and tomorrow. Saturday is when I'll put it up for a vote. So that you can decide between Words to Live By and Gingerbread Hollow, and whoever wins that one will get 3 days of work on March 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then on the 17th, which is one day next week. I have no idea what day of the week that would be. But one day next week, it will be a vote between Advent Animals and Pandemic for what will get worked on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And then it will come down to the last two, and that piece will get the rest of the month. So one of these pieces, one of those 4 now that we're down to, Words to Live By, Gingerbread Hollow, Pandemic, and Advent Animals, is going to get a lot of love. Advent Animals, Cashmere Camel is number 6, so I still have 19 more after this. Could I finish them? Possibly. Some of them are closer to a finish than others and that are left because I got a lot of work done when I started them last July for Christmas in July. Pandemic, yeah, that even if I work on it every day for the rest of this month. I haven't even finished half of page 1, so maybe I'll finish page 1 if it gets the rest of this month. Gingerbread Hollow, it's actually stitching up fairly quickly. The actual stitching might get done by the end of this month if it gets voted on for the rest of it. And Words to Live By, it also is stitching up quickly. It probably won't be done, but I could probably finish another 2 blocks. There are 13 blocks total, and the 13th block is the one in the middle, and it is huge. So it's the size of 4 blocks together. It's huge. So I don't think I'll finish all 13 in this month, but I probably can get in 2, maybe a third. So, we'll see. I'd love to finish Words to Live By before the end of this year, since it was my New Year, New Start, and finish it by December 31st. But we'll see. So that's my plans. And wow, I've talked for 25 minutes. That is amazing. So, next. I hit 250 subscribers, which I know compared to a lot of Flosstubers out there, 250 is tiny, but to me that is huge, and I want to thank each and every one of you. So I want to do a subscriber celebration. So I want to do a giveaway of either a gift card to 123Stitch or a gift card to Fire Poppies, which is an awesome LNS here in South Carolina that also does really, really good customer service for online. So if you don't live in South Carolina, you don't live near Charleston, because it's in the Summerville area. I don't live near Charleston, and I don't get to go there very often. So a lot of mine is done online, but they are amazing. And 123Stitch, everybody knows. Well, I say everybody knows. Maybe everybody doesn't know, but most people know 123Stitch as a very large online presence in the Flosstube and stitching community. So I want to give away a $25 gift card to celebrate my 250 subscribers. So some rules: you have to be 18 so that I can get your address. Don't use the word giveaway. Don't use the word free in your comment, or I'll have to delete it so that we don't get, those trolls who like to just enter giveaways to get stuff that they're not really interested in. Because if they're not a stitcher, they probably don't really need a $25 gift card to Fire Poppies or 123Stitch. So don't use those. But what I do want you to do is use the word spring, because it is springtime in my front yard today. My daffodils are bloomed. And it's gorgeous weather. It's beautiful sun. It's spring here. I don't know how long it's going to last. It could be winter again next week. It could be summer next week, because spring in South Carolina lasts about a week. But that's okay. It's spring today. And that's all I care about. So use the word spring in a comment, and I will enter you into my subscriber celebration. Obviously, I will not be doing the Flosstube this weekend because I will be in Tennessee and at a soccer tournament. It just doesn't bode well for me getting Flosstube done. So the next weekend, the 21st, I will film another Flosstube, and that is when I will pull the winner. So you have until the 21st, the morning of March 21st. Get your comments in. And I'm going to leave you with this quote. Happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to deal with them. And that's a quote from Steve Maraboli. Wow. You don't have to have a lack of problems to be happy. You just have to be able to deal with the problems that come. I know one of the things that gets me through any problems that I've been through, and there's been a lot of problems this past year for me, for everybody with the pandemic and everything, is my faith in the Lord. And that has been what's gotten me through. So that has been what's given me the ability to deal with my problems. It may be something different for you. It may be your faith. It may be something completely different. So, if you have problems, how do you deal with your problems? Because that is how you will be happy, is to be able to deal with your problems and not dwell on them. I know I can tend to dwell on mine sometimes, and then I know I'm not happy. So, y'all, have a great day. Have a wonderful end of your week. Have a great weekend. Stay happy, stay healthy, and keep stitching. Bye, y'all.